Hi VC, Chris back with my second video for the community. And this is a response video to Andy Cloudy Milder's 300 subscriptions contest. Andy asked a bit of a brain melter and he wanted three different sort of sections. Now I'm trying to remember them, so I've got a piece of paper. He wanted an album with 3 in the title. He wanted the third studio release of a favourite band. And he wanted a release from a band with their third lineup change. So, I've had a think, and I've come up with 9. So I've got 3 for each category. I'm going to try and rattle through these because I don't want it to be too long. And I've also tried to keep it on the slightly rock side of things because I know that's how Andy likes his stuff. So let's start things off with an absolutely brilliant album. And this is King Crimson's 3 of a Perfect Pair. This is the third album of King Crimson's 1980s output with the lineup of Fripp, Bellew, Levin and Bruford. It's a great album. Probably the weakest of the 3, but that's not saying a lot because they were all brilliant. Absolutely superb, brilliant musicianship, very 80s sounding in its own way, but out there all the same. Really good stuff. So this is on the EG label, which was originally set up by King Crimson's own record company back in the late 60s, I believe. And great album, fully recommend it if you like your prog with a sort of 80s slant, very clever stuff, well worth looking at. Next one, sticking with the prog theme, is Genesis. And then there were 3. Now, I had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Genesis for a while. I loved the Peter Gabriel stuff. This was the first album with Phil Collins that I particularly liked. And it kind of opened things up for me to explore that back catalogue a little bit more. Probably best known for the single Follow You, Follow Me, which got into the top 10 in the UK. Great album. It was released back in 1978 on the Charisma label. Solid out, and if you like your sort of prog in a slightly poppy vein, well worth checking out. Now the next one is a newer band. Again, slightly on the proggy side of things, but much more rock orientated. This is an American band called Coheed and Cambria. This is their second album from 2003. So I'm saying modern band, but you know, get what I'm meaning. At least it's not 1970s, eh? And this is In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3 by Coheed and Cambria. Yep, they did love a song, an album title. Now this is based on the guitarist and vocalist Claudio Sanchez's comic book series called The Armory Wars, which is a bit of a space opera type thing. Brilliant stuff, well worth checking out. Guitars on this are absolutely amazing. If you like sort of really hard driving guitars with a sort of really strong sort of theme to it. It's very much a concept album, and all the albums in the series are, but brilliant album, well worth checking out. I mean, the title track itself, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, is absolutely superb and probably my favourite song of theirs of any album. But 2113 is also very, very good. So that was my selections for albums with 3 in the title. Andy's next thing was third albums by a band. So I went for, let's see what we've got here. Soft Machine, third. Now this is released from 1970. It was their third studio album, so as you would guess by the section of the contest. This is a reissue on Music for Vinyl, which I think came out last year. This is number, I don't know if you can see that, but it's number 80 of the release. And this is brilliant. I mean, the quality of this reissue is absolutely superb. The whole package is absolutely brilliant. the music itself is just stunning. There's one track per side, and it's kind of a move away from their sort of folksy type sort of prog into a much more sort of jazz orientated thing. In particular, my two favourite tracks are Moon and June and Out Bloody Rages. Absolutely superb. Brilliant stuff. I mean, like I say, this is a reissue, came out last year. Sound is absolutely superb. This one comes on clear vinyl. I have a friend who has the originals in very, very minty condition, and he's heard these reissues, and he thinks they're up to scratch with the originals. All right, so moving away from prog and back into metal. So this one's probably more up your street, Andy. In my introduction video, I mentioned a band called Satan. Satan are a local band to the northeast, although they weren't signed with Neat Records. They kind of stepped away from that group, and they didn't want to be sort of mixed in with the same group of bands for whatever reason. This was this is their third album. Satan's a funny thing. Satan released 2 albums in the 1980s, then changed their name to Pariah and released 3 albums. Then changed their name to, what did they change the name? Blind Fury, released an album, and then reformed and released this, which is absolutely superb. This is Life Sentence. Probably the best metal album I've heard in years. This was released in 2013. Absolutely brilliant album. That's the guys in the band. Now I've got to know these guys fairly well over the years, in particular Russ Tippins, who was married for a long while to one of my oldest and closest friends. And despite that marriage not lasting, we're still good mates. Brilliant live act, well worth checking out. And this comes on an absolutely superb black and red splatter vinyl. Can't get much more metal than that, can you really? Great stuff. I mean, thoroughly recommend you checking this one out, Andy. I think it might be right up your street. Superb album. Going back a bit, we'll go back into the 1980s. This is an early 80s album. This is Y&T's Earthshaker. This was released on E&M Records. And this was an album which came to light because in Newcastle there was a local radio station called Metro Radio, and there used to be a music show on that called the Hot and Heavy Express, which had a couple of different DJs, but probably the most famous was a guy called Alan Robson, and he played the track Rescue Me off this album almost repeatedly, and it just became huge in the region. I've seen them live several times, and they always put on a brilliant show. Dave Meniketti has just got one of those voices which is unique, and his guitar playing, as soon as you hear it, you know it's Dave Meniketti. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And again, I think Andy, you'd really like this. So give that one a try, mate. Then we come to the hardest part of the whole contest, which was an album from a band in their third lineup. So I made some notes. So I'm not 100% sure whether I've got this right or not, because some of I've tried to go for the third recording lineup, so there may have been lineup changes prior to this, but I've tried to go for what I think is the third lineup. So I'm going to get bonus points here, perhaps, because this is Hawkwind's Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. You see what they did there? And this is their third lineup and their third album. This is absolutely superb. This was released back in 1972 on United Artists, and this is got the original inner sleeve, which is great. Really good space rock. I mean, the back of the cover here has got a little bit of spiel about it. I'll read a bit out because I think this is great. It says, "Blood greetings, O brother, from our great space mother. The saga of Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do is a collection of ritualistic space chants, battle hymns, and stellar songs of praise, as used by the family clan of Hawkwind on their epic journey to the fabled land of Thoracine." You know what you're going to get there, don't you? Great stuff. I know you kind of like your sort of stoner and things like that. Not quite like that, but brilliant space rock. I mean, this is the first album they did with Lemmy on bass, and it's got that real rumbling bass sound. I think you'd probably like this, Andy, so hunt it out and give it a try. Moving on to 1978, we come to the third lineup of Rainbow, and again their third studio album. Another bonus point? Who knows? This is a 2013 Record Store Day reissue of the album. This is on Back on Black. Really good release. I mean, it's a superb album. Just really good stuff. Perhaps doesn't get as much praise as, say, Rising, but wonderful album. And this is on a rather disgusting orange and black split coloured vinyl. Great album, thoroughly enjoy it. It probably the one I turn to more often than not. I love Sensitive to Light and Gates of Babylon off this album. And finally, the next sort of choice is prompted by a conversation we had, Andy, a while back about different bands and stuff like that. This is Demon's third lineup. Now, this isn't their third album, unfortunately. I couldn't find 3 and 3. This is their fourth studio album from 1985. This was released on Clay Records. It's British Standard approved. It's a concept album of kinds about the Titanic. Absolutely superb. These guys are from Stoke-on-Trent, and this was the last album to feature Malcolm Spooner, who unfortunately died just about a week or so after recording the album. Brilliant album. I think you'd really like it, mate. So there you go. That's my entry to your contest for your 300 subscribers. Congratulations on all those subscribers, mate. I think I'm up to about 9 now, so working up there. Have a great one. I hope you saw something that was of interest, and thanks very much. Okay, bye now.